Welcome back to CTV Morning Live. It is time for our Ask the Expert segment. We've got Sean Lennox joining us from the Advanced Hearing Group, and he's an audiologist with them. We're going to be taking your questions live on the air, 789-6559, extension 2803. You can always send us an email, ottawa.morning@ctv.ca, or leave us a question on our Facebook page. Sean, great to have you back on the show.
Thank you. Great to be back here.
And so the one thing I asked, because it was the first time that we had the opportunity to meet, the difference between some of the clinics that we see and what it is that you guys are doing at yours.
Well, since the beginning, the audiologist that made the clinic, Rodney Taylor, he's a doctor of audiology that started out, he saw the marketplace, he saw that, it was really being infiltrated by a lot of hearing aid salespeople, not really necessarily trained for the job, just wanting to go out there and make money. So it became very scary, and so about 10 years ago, he started his practice and trying to mold it on effective, advanced sort of diagnostic strategies, try to figure out why the hearing loss is there first and foremost, try to explain it to the patient, and then go from there with treatment strategies. It's
not so much about the products and a quick fix. It's more or less getting to the root of the problem and understanding what exactly is happening.
The products are so important for us. Obviously, hearing aids are something we sell and we dispense, but we want to make sure that we're giving the best possible sort of strategy for the client. It's about being able to dispense all the different manufacturers on the market, and a lot of clinics, they've pigeonholed themselves because they get business deals and they start to only dispense one product. We're all hearing aid companies on the market, we're about trying to give the patient what's best for them. So the product's important, but what differentiates us from another clinic in a lot of ways is our background, our experience, but also our education. The doctoral level degree isn't something that takes 1 year or something like that. That's eight or nine. So
you're counting.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of improvements that have happened, and a lot of things that you want to focus on with the website. That it's constantly changing and evolving, and there's things to look at there.
Oh, for sure. Looking at the website here, we definitely wanted to focus in on some of the new sort of, say, younger generation that needs our services. The baby boomers are very advanced technologically, and we find that we need to be offering these services. So we have a monthly newsletter, we have a news and blog page actually updated, so we have all the different essays and articles that we actually write and get published. We go back here. We also have a Facebook page, we have a Twitter account, and we are starting to actually have our own iPhone app that we're making as well. So people will be able to download the Advanced Hearing Group app and be able to take a hearing test, check with different issues they're having, and actually be able to get their questions answered before coming to see us.
How often should someone be looking into a hearing test? At what point do you realize something is having problems? Once you realize that your family members don't really appreciate the volume going up, it happens in different stages.
Right. A lot of hearing aid clinics would say, well, don't come to us unless you have a hearing problem. First we want someone with a hearing loss. I say if you're 25 or older, you haven't had a baseline test, come and see us. You have a child that you're concerned about attentional issues, or not doing quite as well at school as you thought they were. We have a doctor of audiology that deals specifically with pediatric audiology. So no, for sure, you want to have baseline tests by the time you're 25 so that you can track the changes as you go on. And no, it's not just about people with hearing loss, it's about people who want to maintain their hearing health into the future as well. Are
we looking at different factors right now as to how we have certain things that are affecting our hearing that we didn't maybe have 30, 40 years ago, especially with the fact that we have iPods and iTunes going in our ears, that there's more things that could be irritating?
Yeah, we're in the plugged-in generation right now. We're plugged in all the time. More so than anyone else would have been in any other generation. Of course, we're seeing the people from the 70s and 80s and 90s that did have the boom boxes. They were rocking out, right? And but now we have the teens and things like that where they're actually plugged in 4 to 5 hours a day, and that's a huge issue. Recent study in the United States has shown that there's a 19% incidence in teenage hearing loss, and that's about 5 or 6% more than it was in the 80s. So yeah, we're really concerned about it, and hearing loss is something that a lot of teenagers and younger people don't think about. So it's very important. If you think your teen is not paying attention, well, that's not a good one.
You gotta go through a whole list of things.
Yeah. If you're concerned about your teen's hearing, and there's different things you can be concerned about, then you want to get them checked as well. And don't hold back. Just get the screening, get get the audiologist talking to them about noise-induced hearing loss and get them knowledgeable about these things, because they don't think about it otherwise. They really don't.
No, and as a parent too, I mean, I know once you're in the hospital, they come in and they do a quick check, but after that, you know, there's really, it's your responsibility at that point. And so if you do see, especially with school, that there's some things, you know, that has happened, right? The kid has come in and then you realize, you know, they can't really hear or they're not really understanding.
Yeah. Also, you have to think about all these middle ear issues kids have. You know, they start to have middle ear infections all the time, so we have to start to worry about the pediatric audiology issues like that. But certainly, if you're concerned about your kid's hearing, come on into advanced hearing as well. We have all the same diagnostics technology and the audiologist that a hospital audiology clinic would have.
Okay, I want to ask you a question too, because the more they're spending time in the water, as we're going to get into the summer months, there's ear infections. Those kinds of things seem to be, they come. We're going to get to a couple more questions, and I want to hit on this because there's some great new advancements here in terms of the way things look. They look a lot different than they did years ago. So we're going to take a commercial break. Still plenty more to come from the Advanced Hearing Group. Get us in your questions. There's a board on how you can get a hold of us once again, 789-6559, extension 2803, or send us a message via email or Facebook. We're back after this.